doors opened. Shepard, dog behind him, headed down the corridor of the 10th floor and stopped in front of an apartment. He listened. There was a faint sound of voices behind the door. Shepard opened the door slowly, very slowly, with a key, and stepped into the darkness touched by the moonlight through the windows and a thin slice of yellow light coming from the partly open door of the bedroom in front of him. The dog entered and watched Shepard carefully close the door to the apartment. The voices were clearer now, a man and a woman. Shepard moved silently to the bedroom door and stood listening. "To be safe," the woman said. Shepard motioned to the dog, who understood, pushed the bedroom door open with a paw, and trotted in silently. "I checked. He's on an all-night stakeout on the south side. There's no way—" The man stopped suddenly mid-sentence. He had seen the dog. Shepard kicked open the bedroom door and raised the shotgun. He had heard others tell the tale, claiming moments like this were gauzy dreams, slow motion. But he sensed none of this. Andy Beaton was throwing off the blanket. He was naked. He reached for a gun in a holster draped over a chair near the bed. Shepard fired. The blast sprayed Beaton with red-black dots against his pale skin and spun his head to the right, taking his left eye. He was dead before he slumped against the night table, tipping the table lamp to the floor and bringing down the nearby chair and holster with his outstretched hand. Somewhere behind Shepard, the dog made a sound, not quite a whimper, maybe even a yawn. Shepard turned to the woman who had sat up, not bothering to cover her breasts. She was small and wide-eyed. Her nipples were dark and pointing at him. Her long hair tumbled over one eye. Her head shook "no" slowly, and her mouth formed the word "no" as Shepard fired and turned away, not wanting to see what the blast did to her. But as he took a step back to the door, she made a sound, an almost cooing sound. He turned to see what he didn't want to see, and knew that the sound was only a memory, and that Olivia was dead. There was no more to look at or do here. He reloaded the shotgun and snapped his fingers. The dog looked from him to the bed and back again before obeying the sound and moving into the darkened living room. Before Shepard and the dog had crossed the living room, they could hear voices in the corridor. "What happened? What was that? Where did it come from? I think it was—" "I'm calling the police." "Jerry, mind your own business." "I'm calling the police, Flo. You hear what I'm saying here? Someone could be, for Christ's sake, dead or—" Shepard stepped through the apartment door and into the corridor. The dog trotted in front of him. He reached back and closed the door. "Mr. Shepard, what had—" The speaker was a short, fat man with gray hair that had gone electric wild in his sleep. He was wearing a gray robe. He had stopped speaking when he looked first at Shepard's face and then at the gun at Shepard's side. There were 2 other men and 2 other women in the hallway, all of them over 60. Shepard and the dog strode toward the open elevator door, the people moving silently to the side, out of his way. As Shepard and the dog entered the elevator, an apartment door opened and 2 men, both in their 30s, both a bit drunk, stepped out. "What the hell's going on?" asked one of the men. Shepard and the dog faced forward. As the doors closed, one of the drunken men, the bigger of the 2, looked at Shepard and the shotgun in his hand, took a step toward him, and then thought better of it. The elevator doors closed, and Bernie Shepard could hear. "What the fuck is going on out here?" As the elevator lurched upward, the voices below faded in the distance and the grind of weary gears. "I'm calling the cops." "Jerry, mind your own business." When the elevator reached the top, the 15th floor, Shepard and the dog stepped out into a silent corridor of locked apartments. Shepard moved to a door marked stairway, pushed it open so the dog could step in ahead of him, and followed the animal into the dim-bulbed shadows. Shepard did not